all this snow talk has a lot of us thinking about skiing or snowboarding, but whether you're an expert or a beginner, there's always the risk of injury. So joining me to talk about that is Dr. Christopher Trojanovich from Boulder Community Health. Thank you for being here, and especially as we kind of just get the season started here, what are some of the most common injuries you see?
So the most common injuries we're going to see in an adult typically is a knee. In a snowboarder, wrists, elbows, shoulders, and in kids, kind of a mix.
Really?
So in adults, definitely the lower half of your body, and in snowboarders, the upper half of your body.
Interesting. So tell us a few tips maybe on a couple of those to prevent those injuries.
So the biggest one is probably don't drink any alcohol. We see most of our injuries in the afternoon after people are tired, and there's a fair number of people who have a drink with lunch. That's a bad idea. So the number one thing I would say is don't drink any alcohol. Number two, make sure you have the right equipment, make sure it fits right. That's a big problem. Listen to your body. When you're tired, stop.
Yeah.
That's when people get hurt.
Makes sense. Do you tend to see more injuries involving beginners, or even, I mean, you could be an expert and still, like you said, maybe just push it too hard?
Right. So the injury number is probably the same for experts and beginners. Beginners typically have less severe injuries, and more experienced people have much more serious injuries.
Wow. And when we talk about those serious ones, is, you know, people have head injuries. Should we be wearing helmets out there? What are your suggestions?
Absolutely. Helmets for everybody. If you're doing any of the snowboarding, definitely, and in any kind of terrain parks, wrist guards, elbow pads, knee pads, but everybody should wear a helmet.
Excellent. And I mean, in general, is this considered a safe sport? It's not a daredevil sport necessarily, but we see a lot of injuries with skiing and snowboarding.
It's a dangerous sport, but it can be safe. Just know your abilities. Don't push it past there. Make sure you have safe equipment. Most of these are going to be traumatic type injuries, people falling. That's the big thing in collisions. So not wearing earbuds, paying attention to your surroundings. The collisions are somewhat preventable. The falls, definitely, if you stay within your ability level, much less likely to happen.
Great advice. Thank you. I hope everyone paid attention to that. I know I did. Christopher Trojanovich, thanks so much. And be sure to check out thedenverchannel.com for more tips as we move through the season here. A young fan